Okay, so as I said, let's just work from the top down. And again, sponges belong in the phylum Porifera because of 3 reasons. We've already named, there's 5, but really 3 big ones. This is one of them because they have a osculum, okay? And some of them actually have more than one osculum. So what class of sponges would have more than one osculum? And that's the diagram that we're looking at on page 115 here. Because this is just an excerpt of what it is you actually see. Okay, and this is page 115. All right? So when you look at that diagram, it's figure 6.4. What type of class of sponges is this? Yeah, it's a leuconoid. And why is that significant? Okay, well, so what? It's a leuconoid. Why would that be significant to you? Because when you look at that sponge, what do you notice? It has multiple what? It has multiple oscula, okay? Because these are the most complex, okay? Unlike your other two, the asconoids and the cyclonoids, which are just very simple animals, just tubular in shape, okay? Another characteristic of all sponges is what? They are attached down here to a rock or probably the ocean floor, and they don't move, making them sessile, okay? And so we have an osculum, we have sessile, and then we'll get to this a little later, but all these little structures grab materials. So making them what type of feeders? They're filter feeders. So those are your big 3. They're sessile, they have an osculum, and they are filter feeders. Okay. So also on page 115, here we have our osculum. Okay. Now, because of movement of water, this is starting to exit, make its exit outside the osculum. So what type of structure is that when you look at page 115? Once you get closer towards the opening on the top, it's called excurrent canal. Okay? So then this is your excurrent canal. Okay? So if we have an excurrent canal close towards the top, what are we going to have closer down to where water's coming in? An incurrent canal. So that's what we're looking at here. Here is your incurrent canal. The what and what are the same thing? I'm sorry. No. The structure here on the very outside right here, okay? This is your ostium right here that you're referring to. So once you get further in, that's your incurrent canal. Okay? So what we see here, so we've already alluded to that. We've got 1, 2, 3 incurrent canal. This right here is your ostium, and it's a specific structure, so that's what we're looking for when we're naming this. So ostium. Okay. And maybe to help you out, these look like, it's meant that they're supposed to look like a bunch of little nails. Okay? And it provides the skeletal framework for these animals. Because think of, you can go all the way back to even biblical times when structures were going to be built, they would throw straw into the concrete. When you look at any one of these interstate projects or highway projects, they may not be ready to pour the concrete, but you see a grid of a whole bunch of rebar. Okay? What's the function of that rebar? What does it do for the concrete? Yeah, it strengthens it. It kind of makes a type of strengthening structure. So this is kind of like the rebar. That's what you would find inside sponges. And it has a specific name. What are those called? Starts with an S. You may need to turn the page. Yes? I'm sorry, do what? Oh, yes, that's fine. It just caught me off guard when you said that. Spicules. Yes, these are spicules. Okay? So we'll just circle one of these and say, yes, this is a spicule. Okay? And you have a whole bunch of them again. And what they do is provide reinforcement for the sponge. And I'm sure this has happened to people before. Maybe they kind of learn, I'm not saying learn the hard way, but they may put they got their gravel down, they got their forms up ready to pour concrete, but then again they got their grid of rebar in, they start pouring the concrete, but they may forget to do what? To pull up on that, at least I believe that's what needs to be done, because that rebar sitting on the ground with just cement on top isn't going to do anything. But once you pull that up and get it into the middle, that's when it's going to reinforce itself. And I don't know whether that's human nature and whether that's happened before. Well, probably. It's probably not very common. But again, this is kind of like the rebar right here, your spicules. Okay? Then, when we look at cells that line this exterior, that's what these two structures are supposed to be. If these are ostium and this is on the surface, when you look at, I believe also page 116. You have your spicules, and these structures along here, this is figure 6.7. It starts with a P. Pinocytes. Yes, these are pinocytes. Okay? Got this. Now, that does it for this whole main picture. This is kind of like an excerpt. We're enlarging that over here. That's all that this circle means. We're just enlarging that so we can see it just a little better. At least that's the idea. Okay. So what we want to be looking at is that same figure. Okay. Is what would you believe all of these structures are here that are curved in shape and go all the way around? We said these regulate the water coming in and out of these. So it starts with a C. Choanocytes. I believe it might be chanocytes, choanocytes, but that's what we're looking at right here. Okay? So this is a choanocyte. Okay? And then these whip-like structures must be what? What would you think that it is that the choanocytes have inside of them? And there you might need to do a little digging, because say that again. Flagellum, that's right. So that's what these structures are here. Okay, flagellum. It's better. And then turn back to figure 6.4 on page 115. This exert, okay, what would that possibly be called? When you're looking at all these incurrent canals, it's going through this type of a chamber. It's a flagellated chamber. So it's no surprise if you have this flagellated chamber that you have flagellum that are maintaining that filter feeding as you're going through. Okay? Make sure I get this right. Okay. Okay. I believe that's what we want. Now, whether you drew this or not, that's entirely up to yourself, but is there any questions over this? And many of you have heard this before. Maybe you don't know what to ask. Okay? But we're going to want to know this diagram here. Rather than just saying, let's look at this page 115 or 116 and know everything on there. No, that's, to me, not necessary. Let's know the important aspects for that. Okay? We good? You too? You too? We good? You too? You too? Okay. I guess I should say we're on the bus. All right. Fair enough. Okay, so we finished chapter 1 yesterday. Went over some of these because diagrams that we want you to know this for chapter 5. We'll continue reviewing tomorrow. Okay, so we'll spend a little more time, not on this diagram, but what we want you to be able to write out in an essay form and be ready for Friday. And then when we come back on Monday, we'll start talking about animals that are finally starting to move, get into the cnidarians. Okay. So, barring no questions, there's some papers that I need, so get them out. Please make sure your names are on them, and I will collect them. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. So hopefully, again, when you look at this, you can say, yeah, this is just big picture items. That's what we're looking for. All right, we'll continue with this again tomorrow. The rest of the time, go ahead and utilize how you see fit. Looking over this, you have that opportunity. You can do your journal writing, whatever it is you feel is most beneficial. Pick up with this again tomorrow.